One to watch out for in round 5 is going to be Broncos Tigers, because you have Michael Maguire, the sacked Tigers coach, now in charge of the powerhouse that is the Broncos. If that's not a rugby league story, I'll give it away. That's unbelievable.
What about the age of the halves that you'll get to as well? But yeah, Michael Maguire, an opportunity coach against the West Tigers. A lot of turnover since Madge was at the club.
He'll still carry some.
You reckon?
Oh, Madge, please. he's gonna love to beat the Tigers, Madge. Don't you think?
Of course.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Of course. But completely different roster that he inherited at the Tigers compared to the one he's got at the Broncos. He must have walked in there day one just licking his lips of what was on hand there at Brisbane, because he had the elite camps in the Kiwis and New South Wales, but rewind to that day one at Concord compared to day one at Red Hill, he'd be like, wow, this is...
I mean, walking in and looking at Payne Haas...
that's enough, right?
The Samoa-bound Payne Haas. I don't want to upset Brent with that, but what a start to the season is he having?
Payne Haas?
Unbelievable. Like him and Tino, they're just next level at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're just different types of players. They just... they carry their side on their own, and they're so dynamic.
Yeah.
They've been outstanding. But that Brisbane side. What about Shibasaki?
Oh, he's great.
What a second coming of Shibasaki, just for a moment, really.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. That he was a fringe first grader.
Yeah, he was on the scrap heap.
Yeah.
He was on the scrap heap, training trial and in Brisbane essentially.
Now starting spot in the back line, and in a good back line, keeping guys like Dean Mariner out of the side.
And looking good.
Father Time's undefeated, not only in rugby league, but...
in journalism, Reedy.
In journalism,
sorry,
correct. But check this out. Ben Hunt, 35.
Yep.
Adam Reynolds, 34. Lachlan Galvin, 19. Latu Fanu, 19. So, combined age of 38.
It's a shame. It's a shame they're... like, the combined age isn't... like that would, because that would have... I'm assuming that's would never have happened before.
No.
You couldn't have had a combined age. When do they play the Seagulls or DCE next year?
It's crazy, isn't it, to think of the difference in these two teams.
Yeah.
And their spines, but no Jerome Luai this week. Yeah. So how does that impact? And is Fanu, how will he handle the step up?
It's a really interesting one because you look at all the things going on at the West Tigers long term in terms of Galvin's contract, Fanu's there, and obviously Jerome's contract as well. And I don't know heading in like long term, like you won't be able to hold on to all those three, right? So they've got a decision to make on Galvin, and they want to keep him. If they extend Galvin, you'd assume that Fanu would hit the open market and clubs would be circling him as well. So. It's a big game a little bit for Fanu just to put himself in the shot. We saw what he did when he came on.
He was good, wasn't he?
He's just got that footwork and silky skill and those sort of things where he changed the game a little bit when he came on against the Warriors last week, scored a great try. So it's a big test up against the two experienced players.
I'll tell you what's interesting too, Mick. I mean, if Galvin goes, and there's every chance Galvin in a year's time leaves, Fanu becomes the halfback. Because Jerome will go to 6, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So we get a little glimpse of what he's like at halfback this week to see whether how he'll go at handling that job. Because look, the Galvin situation's been a talking point for so long now, and I think we all expect the Tigers in coming weeks going to table a monster offer. Galvin's probably not going to take it. He's going to go to November 1, and at that point. Tigers, I think we all assume that means he's leaving. So that means Latu's going to be their 7. So to see him play 7 this week, it's going to be intriguing to watch.
Why won't he take up the offer?
It's a very good question. I don't know, because it's going to be a monster offer. But the sense I get is that he won't take it up. Maybe he wants to see what's out there for him. And there'll be a lot out there for him. Maybe not the same money, but a lot of interest.
Yeah. With the expansion, we've been talking about the dearth of halfbacks or halves essentially around the comp, but Lachie Galvin at 19, Latu Fanu at 19, Jamie Humphries taking his opportunity with both hands, Isaac Katoa young. Are we starting to see some green shoots with these young halves? Is it as bad as we thought?
Yep. It is because, like...
Right, thanks.
There's more good kids coming through
there is. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what a new side does, and
Mitch Woods at the Dogs.
there's lots of
Ethan
uns.
Sanders,
Ethan
Cade
Strange.
Reed,
All right,
Xavier Rodwell.
let's
There's lots of kids coming through.
Wind it back a little bit.
Jake
because
Elliott.
These guys are all unknown quantities, right? So Mobsy's talking about guys that are...
Well, unknown to you, mate, but we do the schoolboys top 50 every year.
so
they're well known.
They're all going to be sweet.
Yeah, I think they'll be right.
Yeah. Right,
Got a lot of faith in your kids.
Again, you're talking to them. They're not listening or watching.
A lot of faith in you, boys. Don't let me down.
So I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting... I'm really intrigued by the two Tigers youngsters and what it means long term for the club. And at least they've got that safety net there if Galvin does go. Fanu's a hot prospect still.
Send in your questions, your comments, your talk topics through to this email, codenrl@news.com.au. That's codenrl@news.com.au.